Hey, today I just want to record about this thing that I very dumbfound what I listened to yesterday, where one of the virologists was saying that, hey, there's no such thing, there's no virus. Okay, the word definition she mentioned was that there's no virus. And this is the second time I'm hearing this. It's like there is no virus. The term no virus comes in. I was a bit surprised and shocked when I hear that, because it was her case was very convincing, and it's really convincing that her finding, her data is, pretty much saying. I did background check, and I kind of come to know that who she is. So usually when people in that expertise or being a virology, and they're saying that, you have to really deep think about it, what they are saying. Since this was second time I'm hearing it, completely different. I never heard from her before. But when she presented the information and data, it was pretty much convincing. So I was scratching my head throughout the day. I was trying to understand what the hell she mean by no virus, right? So this was one. Prior to this, I got to know there was a case in Germany where one of the doctor or a lecturer, I can't remember, professor or what, he actually did the same thing. He said there's no virus. This is for HPV virus, if I'm not wrong. So it's for HPV virus, if I'm not wrong. Where he said there's no such virus. And then, so the idea, thought process that there is no such virus. There's no virus, okay? So as people who don't understand virus is not a living creature. Means that it's between life and death. Okay, which means it could be alive, it could be dead. You can't really kill the virus. You can kill the virus, it can kill, but then the state of life, it's only alive when it enters a cell. Okay, unlike bacteria where it itself is able to reproduce and multiply, virus itself is not. So that's about the virus. So which is why it's a bit, I caught up in a situation myself, was like I was confused, because I really did, during the COVID pandemic, I did really study. I follow up, study as not just study COVID, but actually dive into what virus means. So I was give a thought about it. And I remember early of the year, I was following one of these neurologists who is an expert in human brain, right? Brain study. Neurology is pretty much about brain. And based on his finding, he's from Japan, based on his finding is that, he found out that the shots that people took, actually the shots which supposed to remain in your arm, instead it remained in your arm, it flowed throughout the body, inclusive your brain, includes your reproduction organ, and some of the other vital organ. Okay, so which means that it goes all over the body. That was his finding, and he was actually disagreeing with the term no virus. So here I was listening to this podcast interview between this virology and one of the interviewer. I'm not sure who the guy is. So I was just listening, and it dawned me the term people use to communicate each other. It's so dumb, so stupid. Okay, people in the field of expertise, they couldn't able to communicate each other. That's what I discovered. That's what I found. The guy, the neurologist, he didn't understand the term, the wording that the virology is using. He completely didn't get it, what she is saying. Okay, what she's technically saying is that if you prove, there's a way to prove a virus existence, a specific virus. Okay, she didn't say there's no such thing as virus. Else, we don't need a virology. On top of that, she's a virologist, for cry out loud, which means that her bread and butter depends on her expertise on that. Okay, so she cannot say, hey, don't exist. Okay, because she's studying it. She didn't generally say virus don't exist. What she meant is that when you say a virus ABC exists, you should be able to reproduce and show it with data and record. So that's what specifically she said. She said that if you have the data, show me the result. And unfortunately, none of them throughout the country, throughout the last 2.5 years, nobody able to produce that, which is weird. A lot of people assume that we have the technology able to do this and that, but actually we don't. That's something that people don't get it. Because the reason why we're not able to detect a tiny virus, right, is basically because our body, inside our body, now, even before COVID, we have 3 trillion viruses in our body. So, when you get any sort of infection, it's very hard to see and distinguish, specifically say which one is causing the problem. Is it external or internal? You can't say. So, which is why this is what she meant, is that specific virus that they are saying exists don't exist because there's no data to prove it. So, between neurologists and virologists, they're having communication problem, which is weird. So if they are having this problem, imagine who else is having a problem. So the best part overall is that what they are really stressing on is the shots that a lot of people took is based on what? Based on what? You see, people not able to narrow down the virus, specific virus. If you're getting a shot, it need to be based on something. So it is based on what? You see, that's the part that people don't get it. It's like if let's say you took you're saying that, hey, I found it. They call it isolate. It means that you really specifically pull it out from the body of a person who's sick, pull it out, and then attempt to grow it, and then inject it into an animal and reproduce the medical condition that they are saying this virus is affecting. Okay? That's, once you isolate, then you know that is the virus. And then you picked it up, you picked up the genome sequence, and then you produce a milder version of that virus, then you inject into someone, and then we consider that as, build up your immune system. So, that didn't happen. So, which is why weird. After really listening to all this. So yeah, that's the key part why they're stressing, is that if somebody give you a medicine to cure what? Cure what illness? That's the key.